Good day and good evening, because that's the time where I am. I hope you're all doing very well, and welcome to Moogle Tomestones stream. Is everything alright with the stream? It seemed like it was lagging a lot in the preview. Is it good? Is it fine? Are we good? I hope we're good. I don't know what was happening. It looked like it was like 40 seconds behind. I sure hope it's better now. Wouldn't be the first time that it's just randomly super laggy. With that said, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be first exploring the new Moogle Tombstone event design with the changes. Explore how does that work. What should you be aware of? Is there anything, like any particular strategies that might be worth considering that might be helpful for you to not waste any time, get the most out of it? And then we'll probably do some stuff. With that said, hey Emir, hey Gazel, hey Chester, hey Ham, hey Gleaming, and hey me, who else? I hope you're all doing very well. So the first thing to keep in mind is that normally with the Mock Tome event, the only thing that you see is that there's this icon next to a bunch of duties. That means that if you do this duty synced, so it has to be synced to give the reward, then you will get a certain amount of Mock Tomes. Usually this is denoted somewhere clearly, like the website. This is still true now. However, this new system adds a bunch of new options to actually collect Mock Tomes. The way to see these options is if you talk with the weird Moogles that trade the Mock Tomes. There's one very close to the Aetheryte Plaza in Uldar, Limsa, and Gridania. So you just go and talk with them. If you do, they will introduce you to this, the Mogpendium, which shows all of your options. Everything that will give you Mock Tomes this time around. For example, you can see a full overview over all of this stuff. You can repeat as much as you like. I should also mention, for anyone who's not sure where it's put, when they hand you the Mogpendium, it lands in the Collections tab here, where there's a bunch of random things, one of which is the Mogpendium. You might find it handy to put it somewhere on a bar or something, so you don't have to go through like 2 menus to find it. So, all of these standard objectives, to my understanding, are shared between everyone. A quick overview from myself looks like some things have been nerfed a bit. Like, I'm pretty sure something like Porta de Comana normally would give like 5. I'm pretty sure it used to give like 5. I'm almost 100% certain that Praetorium used to give 10. I might remember that wrong. So I'm pretty sure they've nerfed the amount of tomes you get for a lot of the repeatable content. Now, the thing is, they haven't nerfed it completely. I have a feeling, just initial observations, I can't say for certain if this will actually be true, but it wouldn't surprise me if something like one of these 4, E1 to E4, synced with blue mages, might be the farming strat for a lot of players. That's just my initial guess that this might be like the strategy. I will also say that when this kind of strategy has been the prevailing strategy, it has usually been such an overwhelmingly effective strategy that the second best strategy usually was to do also this, but just with normal jobs. The downside of doing it with blue mages is that you have to go into Party Finder and make a full team, because blue mages can't queue for things. But normal jobs can, which means that if you just queue as a job, you can just spam queue into these 4. In fact, you just queue for all 4 of them and just spam them. You, of course, have the risk of getting a lot of first-timers. You have the risk of getting people that are severely underprepared, so that it doesn't go too fast. But it would be a way to do it. And this was an effective strategy back when the first fight in Alexander was an effective strategy. I think that was that last Mogtome season or the one before that? I think it was the one before that. But there's all these options. Basically, whenever you clear them synced, you get a few Mogtomes. 2 is not very many. You need like 50 for most of the high-ticket items, so... a new thing that is worth considering is that you also get Mogtomes for ocean fishing, specifically, for some reason. And you also get Mogtomes for doing gates in the Gold Saucer, which means that you could just hang out there and just, participate in gates whenever there is something. So if you were already, like, farming, like, MGP, this is just, like, free extra stuff. The reason for why it is 1 to something is, of course, because your performance in the specific event matters. Like, any way the wind blows, the slice is right. You have to be sort of lucky to get all of them. Meanwhile, something like Air Force 1 or Leap of Faith, you can always get all 4 for those. And Cliffhanger, you can also get all 3 for those. And yeah, exactly, as Ham says, you can also double down and use the Mogtomes you collect to buy more MGP if you want to. Fatman says, funny thing is in Oceanic servers, you'd have to party finder Eden raids either way because the dungeon finder is super dead, or duty finder is super dead from my experience. Well, if it is the most popular strat, there's a reasonable chance people will be queuing for it. But otherwise, you're right. I could imagine so. You will probably be able to tell just almost naturally by seeing if the queue pops, whether it is an effective strategy or that people view it as an effective strategy. Because if they do, then I can tell you that even on EU servers, these will queue faster. Like, they'll pop faster than normal. Did your membership run out, Sin? Oh no. Also, hey Bob, hey Sin, hey Eleven, hope you're doing well. And also, hey Traverse and BSR, hope you're doing well as well. Right, so aside from that, there's also like you can do PvP for Mogtomes. I do think it is really funny that they've included Borderland Ruins, which hasn't been available for a long time at this point. So it's kind of pointless to have it included. This does tell me, and this is something others have talked about, that they hope this will be the way it is done looking forward. Them adding something like this, which is completely pointless because you can't even do it, suggests that this might be like long term. Now, that is the part of it, like the normal stuff. This is what you will use to grind your Mogtomes every day until you, like, run out of energy or run out of things to grind for. The next one is the weekly objective. From what it says here, this is actually unique to you. So I would guess that I might be among few players that have specifically Containment Bay P1 T6 as my objective. Yours might be different. But it's just one clear of whatever it says, and you get, bam, 20 right then and there. Ha! E1, like actually any Eden raid is really nice, since, you know, it's right here. Although P1 T6 is also here. And maybe they will only give you weekly objectives that happen to overlap with standard objectives. Then there's the mini-mog, where you have, as far as I can read from this, you only have to clear one of these objectives. So you see, I don't know if it is you have to clear like that each of them is available based on this text. It says do one of them and you can claim the reward. So you can just do, like in my case at least, I am guessing these are universal, but if they are not, in my case, do 5 fates in Lakeland or Colusia, 10 mock tomes. If you don't, like, alternatively, if you grind, like if you're a triple triad player already, you could just win against Fufulupa here, which I would guess would be faster than doing 5 fates. And then finally, there's the Ultimog, which is once per event. So that means you can see here, this is the first hunt. There will also be a second set of this event before Dawn Trail. That is worth keeping in mind. There will be 2 seasons of this before Dawn Trail. This isn't, like, the rewards we have access to now might not be the same for the second hunt. And this is not going to last until Dawn Trail. There's going to be a second one. So that means that you just have to do this once while the first hunt is underway. When is Dawn Trail expected? Sometime summer. And I believe that is what we've been told. Sometime summer. Also, hey Cat Damon, Liv, and... Nope, I think that was it. Hope you're both doing very well. Well, I don't know, Sin. The thing is that the rewards are somewhat random. Somewhat random. We can go and take a look at them right now, so that anyone who first of all, so that we've all talked about those, and also because then we have a little overview of what is there. Some of the mounts are easier to get than others. For example, I believe the Antelope Doe horn is like a lot of scripts. There's a hairstyle. There's a minion. Is that from Eureka? Just a guess. There's another mount. There's some music. And then, which is often very common, there are some mounts that are normally only acquired from reputation with a Realm Reborn tribes, which has a tendency to reduce the value when actually bothering to do that. Also, hey Coco, hope you're doing well. There's also some cards, some more music. But yeah, the thing that I usually recommend is going for, like, if you're going to, like, if you don't have time to get everything that you want, consider looking into which items are more awkward to acquire. Like, for example, if you don't want to farm Shinryu Extreme, then these 30 tomestones might be a good investment. The reason why I say farm is because the extreme mounts are not guaranteed drops. So that means that you might have to do Shinryu tens of times to get this mount. And to my knowledge, Shinryu takes a while to do. Drock says you can solo Shinryu. That's true. But I'm pretty sure it takes a long time still, because there's like some mandatory wait time in the fight. It's the same as, for example, Bismarck Extreme takes a fixed amount of time. Shinryu takes a fixed amount of time. So that's why there might be some benefit to that. It depends. It depends on the person if they want to sit through that. Like, at the same time, over 8,000, I believe it's 8,400 firmament scripts for this mount. But this is also tradable, whereas this is not, which means that maybe you're just really rich. Maybe this mount will drop in price during this event. Because other people buy it for tomestones to sell. It's a possibility. You can see there's a bunch of the things that I don't have. I'll just make my way down the list, I guess. I actually expected to have more of the things on the list. Oh yeah, there was something about in the 10th anniversary version of the Mogtome event, Traverse. Wasn't all of the Kamwis available or something like that? But I will say soon that if you have most of the things in a Mogtome event, that might not be a bad thing, because this, maybe you can do this in one go. I can't remember how easy, like the difficulty of getting exactly 8,000 points. But many of the, once you've spent these, limited tasks to give you a big boost in tomestones, the rest of it is going to be a grind. a big grind. Remember, if you need 5 things that cost 50, for example, you need 5 things that cost 50 each, you need 250. You do the ocean fishing thing, now you got 50. Then you do your mini mog, now you got 60. Maybe slightly more if it overlaps with the standard objective. And then you do your weekly objective, and now you have 80. Now you have 170 to grind with something like 2 per, right? So, might not be too bad. On the other hand, this should be around for several weeks, so you might not want to stress yourself too much over it. Although, if this is what we have to work with, for the weekly stuff, then it does mean that you're just getting an extra supplement of 30 tomestones per week. Also, hey K-Black, I hope you're doing well. But yeah, that is overall the objective, the objectives. If you're into farming MGP, then this might be an excellent time to do that, since you will just get free Mogtomes while you're there. If you're not, then I don't really have any particular good suggestions. Exactly, Ham. If it's up for 5 or 6 weeks, you would be able to get 180. Is he stingy with rewards? I mean, the entire point of the Mogtome event, this might not be entirely obvious. The way the Mogtome event works, and has always worked, is that it actually only comes out during the slow period at the late part of a patch. For example, around a month before new major patch comes out. The entire point here is to give you something to work towards. I don't think it's that bad. As long as the tomestones can be a way to inspire doing something different or new, I think it's pretty good. Hey, Viak and Makoto, I hope you're both doing very well. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's the same problem as other weekly lockout stuff, in that part of the reason why it is that way. Also, hey hey Aridel, hope you're doing well. That it's spaced out to give you something to do and something to come back to. And Mock Tomes is a way to do that. It gives you something to do. Something. I don't think it's like, I don't think the amount of Mock Tomes they give is unfair. Most of the items, as Sin pointed out, are something you can acquire yourself elsewhere before the event. So if you've grinded enough of like optional content, you might have one of these events pop up and you're like, I have all of the things. Like, the reason why the reason why I don't have a bunch of the things is because some of them come from Eureka, which I haven't finished, and some of them come from the Firmament, which I haven't like been that deeply invested in. Drug says 665 weapons are relevant now. No, they're not. You know what's special about the 665 weapons from P12S? You know what it is, Drug? It's glamour. Which isn't irrelevant. As we all know, the true endgame is glamour. Hey, you got in. Hope you're doing well. And hey, Huzo, hope you're doing well as well. But yeah, you can just, like, do content. And you get some mock tomes. That is ultimately the aim. The weird thing is that you have to sort of go out of your way to do it, because they're mainly offering stuff for doing content you probably wouldn't do. Drog says the glamour is not why they're inaccessible, it's because of the eye level. No, they're harder to access because they're from difficult content, and you get awarded for doing difficult content. Incidentally, they have good item level because that's what you get for difficult content. They just also have glamour reasons now. I feel like you're focusing on the wrong thing, Drog. Stone Vigil Hard is going to pollute 5, 6, 7, 8 roulette, isn't it? It might. It very well might. Looking over all these options, I could imagine that these 3 trials will not be the popular pick, simply because they all have like a really long mandatory downtime, which means that it is going to be very hard to make these 2 tomes per clear worth the effort. Skip Sword disband. Yeah, I thought the same, Traverse. It's probably going to be these 4. Yeah, Stone Vigil Heart is the one with the turtle. I would guess if any dungeons, like regular dungeons, will be like up there, it will probably more likely be Sastasha Heart, simply because Stone Vigil Heart is Stone Vigil Heart, you know, the turtle. And the main reason for these dungeons, like this content up here, to be relevant is mainly because the free trial players don't have access to all of this. Like, all this will be inaccessible for the free trial players. So they will have to use, you know, all of this. And among these options up here that are, you know, available on the free trial, Sastasha Heart and Koto's Cry and Sunken Temple of Khan, maybe even the Male Darkhold, look a lot better. Or Rival Wings, yeah, that could also work. Like PvP. No, wait, free trials can't queue for PvP. But that could work. Maybe they'll just all hang out in the Gold Saucer. Maybe that will be the strat. Hey, Mayor Clanger. Hope you're doing well. Emir says, how does that fight work? The Turtle in Stone Vigil Heart. Basically, each player walks over to one of the cannons. When ads spawn, you have to help each other because you can't actually shoot the ads that spawn or go to you. So you have to like shoot at each other's ads, so to speak. Other than that, you just spam your attack on the turtle unless it is doing its reflection thing. And then it has a specific cast. And you have to use your second ability to interrupt that. Many people leave their cannons when ads spawn. That is also a thing you can do, but if you help each other, you can clear the ads much faster. Who says, Gold Saucer's fastest now, go into Leap of Faith, leave one tome. I mean, you can only enter once, right? I'm pretty sure you can only enter once. So, I mean, it would be the fastest singular tome you could possibly get. And then, you're just kind of standing there. But I suppose if you are in the Gold Saucer anyway, you could just go up in, enter a gate, and then just leave again to get one free tome. It didn't even occur to me that you would get awarded a single tome for that. But yeah, PvP might be good as well. The main reason why I have a feeling that something like Eden's Gate specifically might be better is simply because PvP, you need to, like, I actually talked about this I believe last mock tome season, I'm pretty sure. The problem with PvP is, as you can see, it's 3 to 5. If we assume, for example, that you can beat, I don't know, maybe that one is bad because there's that long intermission. I think Eden's Gate Descent might be really good. That or Inundation might also be. I think it's one of these because they don't really have much downtime. If you can beat this in 4 minutes, hypothetically, in 4 minutes, then you get 1 tombstone every 2 minutes. That means that if you have Fields of Glory, for example, you need to end the game in 6 minutes if you're going to lose. Or 10 minutes if you're going to win, to break even with just spamming Eden's Gate. Under the hypothetical assumption you can beat it in 4 minutes. Don't know if you can. Maybe you can if you bring, like, a warrior and 7 DPS or something. I don't know if you can just do that, but that might be doable. I do believe that Rival Wings ends a lot faster. Or can end a lot faster, which also helps that one. But that's the part of the reason why you'd want to do it. There's also the part if you're doing PvP anyway. Then there's that. I don't know what you mean by that, Huzo. The loot is not good anyway. The loot, the value of the loot depends on how much of it you already have. And there's a lot of people that don't have all of the things. That's a really weird take. What? The loot is not good because I have it all anyway. With that said, what should we be doing? I think a pretty good one to start with for me would be the P1T6. Let me just leave party here so I don't capture Gazel. So if you want to join me for Sophia normal, come on over to me and we'll queue for that. Oh, exactly 8. Yes, Diablo. It actually says that it's player specific, or it mentions it. So that does make like that does track. I wonder if there's a. Maybe I should fix my buttons a bit, or maybe we'll just let Cat be the resident blue mage. We don't have to. We could also just multiple blue mages. I don't want to go through setting up all of my blue mage stuff, so I will just maybe it's fine. How much do I have to change? Hey Shiro, hope you're doing well. We spent some time talking about what things are like, what strategies are good. That's the main thing. Rust, you might want to go to one of the itinerant Moogles in one of the main cities and make sure you have a Mogpendium. You'll get one by just talking with them. Just talk with them. I think I'll just not blue mage. Could you blue mage the Fates and knock those out real quick too? Probably, especially because they're in Shadowbringers territory. The main things with blue mage in party content is that if you're alone, you can use things like Breath of Magic and Mortal Flame as you please, because you don't share the space with anyone. But if you have multiple blue mages, there's the immediate question of, okay, so who applies Breath of Magic, who applies Mortal Flame? Because only one of you can do that. Doesn't have to be the same person, of course, but only one can. And because of these things, that also means you'd want to use Moon Flute to make sure you apply the strongest version of it. What is Mortal Flame? It's the attack that makes your target die of cringe. How's the hunt? Well, we haven't started yet, Shiro. But yeah, the special thing about Mortal Flame is that it's an endless dot. So once it's applied, the boss will just slowly wither away. Ham, are you fine with being the only healer? This is hopefully fine. I don't think there's anything you need 2 tanks for, but there might be enough damage coming out that it would be nice to have 2 healers.
The unenlightened come.
It's always insane how much damage blue mages can do. Alright then. She really likes to hide her back.
Come forth, scales of revelation. I would know the weight of your souls.
Now that explains a lot. You see, on the extreme version, those scales also come down and everything. But on extreme, there's no rails for the very start. It's just if you don't remember that it's left first, you die. It explains a lot when the normal version shows you. Oh, it's left first.
Sin must be balanced with suffering. Daughter, be the bearer of my wisdom.
Watch for the head.
My revelations are lost.
Okay. Indeed, so we probably didn't need 2 healers. The primary reason why I suddenly became very aware of whether that was needed or not was that Ham's white mage isn't level 90, so maybe Ham isn't if something went wrong, it would be nice to have a second healer, just to be sure. But then before Ham could answer, Gazel was ready to switch. Right, so we already have 22. That was my personal one specifically. I'm pretty sure that the Lakeland and Calusia fates are not unique to an individual. So we, does everyone here have access to Shadowbringer Land? Because we could just go and do that next. Shadowbringer Land. Coco says, how do I open the thingy? If you've talked with with one of those Moogles, you go to Collection, and then there's the Mogpendium right there. You have to go and talk with one of them to see these information, and probably also to even receive your rewards in the first place. I mean, you could do that as well, but then that requires that you have done triple triad very much. Also, it's just something we can do together, rather than the alternative. You can also just go there, everyone, and play Triple Triad. Is it this guy? I never play Triple Triad, so I don't actually know very much about what is smart to do. Oh, I also got a Thancred card, apparently. Hey, Zach. Hope you're doing well. This is Thancred the card. Yeah, I do believe that. I can't remember if it was it Final Fantasy 8 or was it 10? The Triple Triad came from. I think it was 8. No, wait, was it 9? 8, 9, 10? Can't even remember. Was it 8? Feel like it was 8. Well, automatically 8 would have had it first, right? Unless 9 came out first. Or there was like DLC, except I don't think people like that the games did that as much back then. Right. So we already have this done and this done. So now it's just we have ocean fishing and regular objectives left. I think we've actually spoken about the blitzball thing before, Traverse. I believe the problem with blitzball is that because of the way that the game works. If you've ever done PvP in Final Fantasy XIV, you probably know what I mean already. Blitzball would either have to be turn-based, like kinda how it is in 10, or it would be in some other way limited, which would still mean that it wouldn't really live up to the expectations that people probably have to Blitzball. That, like, with how long it has been since people started asking for Blitzball, if they actually released Blitzball in Dawn Trail, the expectations would be so insanely high that it would be impossible for Final Fantasy XIV to satisfy, I think. Because I do believe that they've kinda said that they can't do Blitzball in a good way in Final Fantasy XIV. And it would, again, it would be a mini game. Like, I'm pretty sure it would take a lot of effort to make that mini game. And make it nice and cool. And of course, that doesn't mean that would mean that there's no point in making it. But there are other mini games that look like they took a lot of effort to make that. How many of you have ever participated in chocobo racing? How many of you have done Lord of Dominion? Beyond just doing it to try it. That's like also something where they had to go through a lot of work to make it, only for people to be like, nah. So there's a lot of people, a lot of vocal players saying they want Blitzball, but there's also a lot of players that are just like, either just saying, yeah, we want Blitzball because it's funny memes, right? There's also a lot of players that don't say anything because they don't care either way. And there's also probably a lot of players that would, and this is of course really weird. It would be really weird, and a pretty weird take that happens sometimes with additions like this is that there will be players that are complaining that they wasted time on this whatever Blitzball content, which could have been spent on something good, quote unquote. The weirdest one of those kinds of takes I've seen recently is players complaining about the visual upgrades, the graphics upgrade coming with Dawntrail, because they believe that they can do, like, that mods can do it better. Completely forgetting the part that, I mean, mods are first of all something that the developers themselves have said are not allowed, and also because all the console players will never have them. So, like, it doesn't help to say there are mods for that. I was make it something like FIFA. Now, the thing is, if they made a game, like a Final Fantasy Blitzball game separately, that could work. The reason why Blitzball probably wouldn't work in Final Fantasy XIV is because of the way the game is programmed. Everything works kind of slowly. As I said, like, if you've never done PvP, play one frontline match. Just one. That will be how Blitzball in real time will feel. Like, that is how it's going to feel. I'm not saying that it's bad, I'm just saying that someone's going to yoink the ball from you, and then you'll see them yoink the ball from you. So, like, it just wouldn't work in Final Fantasy XIV, I don't think. Not real time, like, make it like FIFA or something like that. It wouldn't work. I'm not saying whether you're good or bad in Frontline, Huzo. I'm saying if you're good in Frontline, you can probably also acknowledge that the code for Final Fantasy XIV is kinda janky for PvP content, just in general. I'm sure we all love it when you get pulled in by that Dark Knight Salted Earth, and then you click guard, but you're already dead. Because some people clicked an LB that you can't even see. Yeah, exactly, Shiro. It's like, apparently this is something that I learned when I looked into, like, I was trying to look into the origins of the GCD, like the global cooldown, because it's obviously not originating from Final Fantasy XIV, but apparently it's a common approach to MMOs because it helps with dealing with the server load of the amount of information you'd have to get from so many players, by making it so that you really only have to send like 1, 2, 3 pieces of information every few seconds of what you're doing. It really helps with the amount you'd need to do, or at the amount the server will need to deal with. But then it also has the counter effect of if the game doesn't run super fast at the end of the day, then things that are supposed to go fast will not go fast, like PvP. In In PvE, this works a lot better, simply because in PvE, you can just react to the mob, and the mob will just deal with it. It'll just deal with it. It doesn't have an agency on whether it's fair or not. It doesn't really care. It's fine. So you can play around whatever it has, and that works well enough. Right. So the best thing we can do, because we've already gotten through the weekly stuff, is either figure out ocean fishing or do some of this. Someone asked in the chat how to unlock ocean fishing. I'm pretty sure all you have to do is unlock fishing, and then there is a quest to unlock ocean fishing. I'm pretty sure that's everything you need. How does ocean fishing work? I've done ocean fishing like 3 times. You go on a boat, which is like a duty, you could say, and then you just fish a lot. There can be certain things to do, but if there's at least one person that knows really what they're doing, it's not uncommon to have almost like a raid leader telling you what's happening if there's something special happening. But usually it's just fish, you could say. The danger in Gazel says, just fish and hope your party members carry you. The danger in doing that is we know that everyone is getting herded over to do ocean fishing. Everyone. Which means that there's going to be a lot higher of a concentration of the players that rely on those that know what they're doing to do it. Right, so I think maybe we'll see to that. I do believe ocean fishing happens at specific times of the day or something like that. So I will be right back, and then maybe we'll see. In the meantime, manatee restored. Alright, I'm back. It's at odd hours. Well, in that case, there's not any ocean fishing now, is there? Managed restored for an hour. Wouldn't that be something, Gazel? I just say, I'll be right back, and then I just don't come back until there's actually ocean fishing. I don't know, like, the thing is, I don't remember how many points you can get. But if you know how many points you can get, that tends to give, like, an indication of how difficult it might be. Um, yeah, so the Ultimog event task is 8,000 points. And yeah, as Shiro says, you probably only need these 3 baits for ocean fishing. No longer accepting crew members. Recruitment will start again in 1 hour and 3 minutes. So that will mean next hour. Jeff says 8,000 is super easy. Well, then there you go. Let's see. Also, hey Silvermint, and Eaterit, and Moop, and Andrew, Jeff, Awoosh, and Brontome. I hope you're all doing very well. Awoosh says there's a challenge to get 20,000 points in one run. 8,000 isn't that hard. Well, that explains a lot, because I did remember that there was an achievement to get a lot. Isn't there something like a tab specifically for ocean fishing or something weird like that? I don't remember that wrong. Well, as I said, I have done ocean fishing only a few times. And I do have the mount. So that's something at least. Oh, that mount. Can't even remember if there's multiple. Right, well, we can't do this. So this would be very pointless to sit and wait for an hour. But that's not what we're doing on this stream. That's not what we will be doing. What we can do instead, which might be more interesting, is try and explore our options here. And then just be aware when ocean fishing is coming up so that we don't miss it. Crystal Towers calling. Actually, I'm almost 100% confident, 11, that Circus Tower is not a good option this time around, but it is an option. So thank you, Arno. Yeah, exactly, BSR. I kind of noticed the same thing. I'm pretty sure, like, I'm pretty positive that they've nerfed the amount you get. As I said earlier, I'm pretty sure Praetorium normally gives 10. Pretty sure. But it kind of makes sense. If they have, like, decided, okay, instead of doing it the old-fashioned way where people just farm until they're done, then we'll split it up so that you can do this. Brontome says, have Moogle Tomes been masked out yet? Well, I don't know. What I've said is that I'm reasonably sure that it's going to be one of these 4 with blue mages that will be the best strategy, is my guess. One of these. Could be any one of them. The reason why I'm thinking it could be any one of them is because Inundation and Resurrection has an intermission where you can't attack the boss. And if the boss can reach that intermission, then that will add a lot of time. I don't believe Descent or Sepulture has that. But then again, they might take longer for other reasons, which is why I'm thinking one of the 4. Wasn't it 10 before Porta de Comana existed? Oh, that could be. That could be. That would also explain why Porta de Comana is the remaining 3, right? E1N skip ads to disband. I wonder if we could even do that. But either way, whatever the optimal strategy is, I am pretty sure that it will be something where blue mages are. It's always something with blue mages. Yeah, I could imagine that bringing a tank, like an actual tank, is a good idea. Maybe also an actual healer. Not 100% sure on that one, though. Watch this movie for 10 mock tomes. See, back in late Shadowbringers you could skip the ads with stat squish, not anymore. Well, in that case we might be able to with blue mages. Apparently my DPS loadout has Mortal Flame. I'm just checking, does everyone in the party we have right now have Eden's Gate Resurrection unlocked? It's just the very first fight in Eden. Just the first one. Blue Mage with one of the shorter early dungeons with Missile will be the way. That could also be. I think Sunken Temple might be the stronger option. The scary part is making sure you get the Khan faces exactly where you want them. And that's indeed correct, Zach. And that is also what I thought, is Descent will not have an intermission at all. So if you meet an intermission in E1N, then E2N will be better. So that is something to keep in mind, that if you can't meet the self-imposed DPS check of skipping the intermission on E1N, then E2N is probably the better one. But I do think it would be interesting to explore this. Also, hey Pixel, hope you're doing well. But yeah, maybe it will be good, Rontome. Because these give 3, you would have, like, again, if the general reason why I'm going, well, you need to beat it in 6 minutes is because it isn't uncommon for whatever prevailing strategy we find tends to get half a tomestone per minute or more. That tends to be the optimal one. Right, so we have 8. If you want to, you can blue mage it. If you don't have or don't want to blue mage it, you don't have to. We just want to see what we can do. Remember that Eden's Gate Resurrection is a level 80 dungeon, so you have to be level 80. Is Coco here, by the way? Right, so just reiterating, if you want to be a blue mage, you can be. If you'd rather not, or don't know how to, totally fine. We'll just try and see how much we can push it. Let me see how many blue mages we have. We have me and Cat Damon. Do you want to do the which one of the buffs do you want, or debuffs do you want to maintain, Cat Damon? Do you want Mortal Flame or Breath of Magic? You and me both, Cat Damon. You have one healer. It is probably fine because I have White Wind, so I might be able to help. I have White Wind with me. Like, I usually bring that just in case. I don't need that many spell slots, I feel. Frontome says, I hope Containment Bay is good. Those would actually be fun for farming. They would. I'm just... I'm pretty sure that all 3 of them have mandatory intermissions that you simply won't be able to skip. Especially Zurvan and Sephiroth, which adds like +1 minute. I'm also not great at the Blue Mage opener, so we'll have to try our best. I didn't get through most of it. There's a lot of things I didn't manage because I'm not used to also having Breath of Magic. Oh. I don't know how much that will hurt. 0 damage. Okay, well that maybe I didn't need to use Diamondback for that. Uh-oh. I should have used Bristle first. No, we didn't make it. We were at 2%. The edge of the arena is lethal, Coco. Our feature-length presentation. This is how it would look if we shoot a planetary laser at you, just hypothetically, and shot you into space. This is what it would look like. Womp womp. Ah, a song. Yeah, that is exactly the reason why it is quite significant that you actually managed to skip the intermission, because otherwise you'll have to sit through all that. We did it in... Was it 5 minutes? I exited when we had 5 minutes. 5 minutes spent. Yeah, Shimirum, it is live. So if we hadn't missed the skip, we would probably have beaten it in 4 minutes, which was my suspicion that we would be able to do that, which was why I said that resurrection might be good. So that is a good sign for my idea, that you probably can beat it in 4 minutes. So the question is whether we could, alternatively, if we could beat E2 without that risk of missing the intermission and then getting a +1 minute added. Although now we're only 7. Is there anyone who would like to come along? Then we could try E2. We could also do E1 again. But we would need 1 extra player if we want to do blue mages. It is a pretty common thing with that, Andrew, is that whenever there's a Mogtome event, people remember that, oh yeah, Like, they remember multiple things. The first one is, oh right, I should have geared and prepared my blue mage in retrospect. And sometimes what happens then is, well, apparently not right now. But it's pretty common that there's like a whole bunch of blue mage groups for stuff. Like collecting spells, leveling and all that. And the second thing is in retrospect, I should have unlocked this and this and this and this. And that's unfortunately just how the cookie crumbles with Mogtome stuff, because they try to motivate you to unlock and or try content you don't normally do. Some of the things they like suggest is stuff like some of the things they suggest to do is something that is something you wouldn't have done. Like Eden, since Endwalker, you have had very little reason to do Eden. Once a guide says it's optimal, we might get the new blues tomorrow. That's true. And yes, absolutely, Shiro. I think I spoke about this on a recent stream as well, that even like when you have the blue mage groups, there's also people that join the blue mage groups and just hope no one notices that they don't have the spells. Like a specific one, like when it was Battle on the Big Bridge, that was the farm, where you would see sometimes blue mages that didn't have ethereal mimicry at all, and only had like water cannon and 2 other spells. 89 spells is pretty good. Right. So we could try E2. How does that sound? And the thing is, you don't need all of the spells to do something like this. Like, you can be reasonably effective with just a bunch of spells. You don't need all of them. Although, if you have all of them, there's, of course, a wider selection. I see we have... Well, we have 3 blue mages in the group now. Cat Damon was doing Mortal Flames. Aradel, do you want to do Breath of Magic, or should I do that? The most brutal one is probably like Ham says, I only have 89 spells. One of the strongest spells in your arsenal is Matra Magic, but you need 100 spells to get that one. So that's always fun. I'll grab that one then. So the key reason why I want to see E2 is because there isn't an intermission in the same way in E2 as there are in E1. So if you miss the timing in E2 and you don't have enough damage, you don't get like punished and have like +1 minute added to the timer as a result. Bruh. I used the wrong spell again. Never been that great at the Blue Mage Burst. Tend to mess it up. I'll try my best. It's a little too early. I was going to reset that. Absolutely, Awoosh. We would probably, like, if we tried again, we would probably get it. I just want to see, like, what are we competing with here? Like, how bad is it? In like, how terrible is the comparison? I feel like I remember that I had a spread marker. I almost used J-kick there. That would have been so dumb. Just run all the way over just to jump to the boss instead. Oh. Was there a glare there? Oops. That didn't really do anything, it looked like. How long was that? 4 minutes and 20 seconds. We could probably also have done that one faster, but it does seem like they're pretty even. Although the first one, like, this might have been faster because we have an additional blue mage, so that might also play a part. Also, hey Kozari, hope you're doing well. Yeah, that knockback is actually insane for a normal. See, we have 35 minutes until ocean fishing. Also, I see Coco is in a cutscene because I believe they hadn't unlocked E3 yet. We'll just wait. Yeah, what spell is it that comes from that boss? Oh, right, Dimensional Shift. That one is so weird. So I just want to highlight that just for a moment. It is one of the weird, like, even by Blue Mage standards, Dimensional Shift is a little strange somehow, in my opinion. Because the only reason it makes sense in its arsenal is because it's like... Exactly, Chloe. It's like Launcher. So... what is Launcher is an insanely expensive, for Blue Mage, spell that just does randomly 10, 20, 30 or 50% current HP damage to nearby enemies. But it of course doesn't work on enemies that are immune to these kinds of effects, which means most bosses, etc, etc. Dimensional Shift has twice the cast time. Actually, I think it has more than twice. Yeah, it just has 2x GCD cast time. Costs normal amounts. Isn't random. And then only does 30%. What makes this really interesting is because with Launcher, what makes it weird is because it's anywhere between, well, it's basically anywhere between 10 and 50%. While Missile is here, is 50% or bust, right? Either it's 50% or it's nothing. And then there's Dimensional Shift, which is 30% unless the enemy is immune, which means that Dimensional Shift is... It's reasonable to consider. The reason why people don't really care as much is because Launcher's faster and better where you need it, and Missile is better in all situations where it works. Reason for that is we spoke about janky Final Fantasy XIV earlier. If two Blue Mages cast Missile at the same target at the same time and both missiles succeed, then the enemy just dies. Just instant kill. Because both of the missiles will do exactly 50% of the enemy's HP. Even though it should really go cut it in half and then cut it in half again, they just both go, oh, well, I see you are at full health. Bap, bap. It's hilarious when it works. This is quite interesting with Dimensional Shift. Right. We have an additional Blue Mage. Wait, we have... Like, actually our group is like just slowly turning into Blue Mages. Oh yeah, you're missing a hat, Rust. What? It takes one Dimensional Shift to know you needed Missile, but takes two missiles to know you needed Dimensional Shift. True. You could say that. There it is. You have a hat now, it seems. Right, so just reiterating, Cat Damon is doing Mortal Flame, Ardell is doing Breath of Magic. So the rest of the Blue Mages, you don't have to bring these spells at all. Like, it's pointless, because only one Blue Mage can apply these at a time. And just do your best, right? As much damage as you can. I'll be the lead demonstration of, well, you can be bad at Blue Mage and it's still fine. Are you ready, Ardell? Did they say something? That's fine. I just don't want to queue in if you're not ready. Headless behavior. Could you imagine if Missile worked on a boss like this? I think I got everything. I didn't get Rose of Destruction, but I'm not even sure if I could make that fit. What is the odds of the third treasure cover spawning in normal raids? Excellent question. Uh-oh. I goofed it. And I'm dead. Thank you. I smell greed. Actually, it's even dumber than that. I just got targeted by a marker and didn't realize that I had to move out afterwards. Like, it doesn't get much dumber than that. I was just surprised that there was a follow-up. And then I died. I guess the greed was that I decided to cast something instead of move. But the reason I did that was because I genuinely didn't know there was something coming. Hence why it was the silliest mistake. Ah! Well, that was the saddest end to my Moon Flute. I couldn't do what I wanted to because I didn't actually have the MP for it. That was a lot further from our destination. Peak Mage Brain, I don't need to move, that's a DPS loss. Well, it's true though. Am I wrong? Hey Mogpendium, it's been a while, hasn't it? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I don't know for sure what the drop rate is for the third cover of Yek. But it seems common enough, I guess. This fight should come with popcorn. It is slightly different, Mogpendium. Basically, in addition to there being these specific things you can just spam endlessly, there are weekly things you can do. And then there's also like one overarching thing you can do for the entire event. I thought I actually pressed Moon Flute, but I guess I didn't. Kind of true, Mogpendium. As far as we know, there's actually going to be another one of these events following immediately after the first one, which that one is probably going to be live until Dawn Trail. Silverman says, I don't like Moon Flute. I feel like the drawback is too much for me. Yeah, I get that. I absolutely get that. The reason why Moonflute is so good is because Blue Mage has a ridiculous amount of OGCD stuff and like bursty things, which means that once you've clicked everything, Blue Mage tends to just be spam your filler for 30 plus seconds. Which means that 50 seconds of you can't do anything other than move is whatever. Because what you were going to do in that time would be kind of garbage anyway. That's kind of the reason. See, BSR says, in game, do you think we could abuse Final Sting during the cast of Fragor Maximus? We could, if we're close enough that we could actually reach the end with it. Otherwise, we risk being players down. We could consider that. We're one player down again. Is there anyone that wants to join? Maybe I can get Sip to join. But yeah, that's the reason why Moonflute is so insane. Is because doing 50% more damage for 15 seconds and then doing 0 damage for 15 seconds is perfectly fine. Because those follow-up 15 seconds, you're not doing anything amazing anyway. The reason why tank Blue Mages and some healer Blue Mages don't bring Moonflute is usually because well, the tank might need to cast Diamond back. The tank might need to cast something else. Similarly, at least one of the healers might need to be available to heal someone if needed. But it's actually not uncommon if like you have like a full Blue Mage squad that one of the healers brings Moonflute anyway, because there are times where you don't need both healers to do anything. In fact, depending on your tools, like how much space you have, it isn't entirely unreasonable that both healers bring Moonflute and just, you know, alternate who's bursting when, but I think it's less common simply because to do that, the healers would have to, like, one of them would have to stagger their burst, which doesn't make as much sense. Get Coco the clear? I mean, we got Coco the E2N clear. Yeah, I agree. It does seem like E2N might be the more reliable choice, because it didn't take much longer than E1N without the the intermission. Invuln Greed Pure Beam. Do you still get bone stacks? I guess you would. How about we try E2N again? We had got the ad skip, I'd say E1, but otherwise E2. Yeah, I agree. I think it's fine if we like just try a little bit back and forth. That also makes it a little bit less of all the same. So let's do E2. Sip is also healing, it seems. And we might not need 2 healers. What's going to be the spam dungeon for this event? My suspicion is either like one of the first fights in the Eden raid series. The alternative is maybe one of these two. If you can do them, if you can do these in under 6 minutes, then these seem to beat what we're doing right now. You have to do all the content synced, right? Yes. How much does Praetorium give? 7. And given that it takes way more than 14 minutes, it's probably not worth it. If they sold a blue skip on Mog Station? Well, here's the thing. The problem with Blue Mage isn't actually leveling. The problem is that the thing that comes immediately after. That part where you have to, you know, collect all of those spells. I didn't get my Phantom Flurry in time. Oof. The thing is, it's not about them. I don't think it's about them not wanting to you to do Praetorium. It's more that I don't think the amount of Mog Tomes they're awarding is based on how long they think it takes you to beat them. I think it's just they're choosing the amount you get for doing stuff based on what they think makes sense. If Praetorium gave a reasonable amount based on how long it takes, it would give like 15, which feels a little bit crazy also, doesn't it? Like, I think the problem is that making Praetorium give a decent amount would almost always lead to it giving way too, like, it would be difficult to balance. And I also think it's pretty understandable that they're not making it give too much. Just think about it. If they made Praetorium give a competitive amount of Mog Tomes, then you would have way more people, you know, trying to do the speedrun strats, like skipping cutscenes and stuff by restarting the game. Which isn't a very fun experience for the new players that are actually doing the fight for the first time. Which one gives the most tomes? Beating the Slice is Right in Gold Saucer gives 10 if you win. Like, if you win completely. Then you get 10, as far as I understand. The true prey strat is setting your client to Japanese. That's a pretty good one. That's true speedrunner strats, when you're playing the game in a specific language to make sure that you have the fastest run. Here we go! Blam! That was like 2 or 3%. That's pretty good. So it looked like it did 2%, but I didn't crit. 4 minutes. We start. Let's see. We entered. Yeah, around 4 minutes. I feel like E2N seems like the more reliable one of the two. Mia says, can I join for ocean fishing? Well, there's still like 15 minutes to that. And I'm pretty sure if we just all go up and queue for it, we might end up together. Also, yeah, there are a lot of them. I think we can do E2N one more time before we go and wait. Yeah, the thing is, Mogpendium, there's a bunch of ways to get, like, a few new ways, like doing gates in the Gold Saucer, which are now options that you can use if you like. Might not be the fastest, but here's the thing. You don't have to use the fastest, like, grinding method all the time. Like, you can just do whatever works for you. It would be my recommendation. And because there are weekly tasks to do, grinding all of the Mogtomes you need for everything in the first week is actually not very efficient with your time. Because you just get, like, options to grind an extra 30 with like 5 minutes of work every week. So you don't want to do all of it at once. Which means that the overwhelming power of Blue Mage grinding becomes a little less unfair. In case in point, the reason why we're lining up for ocean fishing is because that gives 50 for this particular event. That was the wrong spell. Yeah, you also get the extra 5 for doing the spammable version of that particular event, you could say. The thing is, Mogo, you only get it once. Like, once. Only once for this entire event. There might be a different one for the next half of the event, but right now, it's 50 for doing ocean fishing once. Which is pretty good. Simply cast the correct spell. Ah, yes. That's the strat whenever you make a mistake. Just don't. Like, idiot. Just don't fail. How to get good at video game? Just don't be bad. Crap. One second faster. Yes! A few hundred more runs and we'll clear it in seconds. If only it worked like that. See, BSR says we cleared it in 3 minutes and 49 seconds this time. Is there even enough space? I don't know. How many people can be there? Like, I'm guessing it'll just make multiple instances. There's a huge amount of people here. I don't think fishing has ever been this popular before. Exactly, Shiro. Exactly. This content exists. It's actually pretty funny because I believe the original reason why ocean fishing became popular when it was new was simply that ocean fishing is, I think it is the most effective way to level your fisher. Like, it is the most concentrated amount of XP you can get. I know that we could do more runs. I just think it's fine. We wait and figure out what we do with the ocean fishing. Both because I do realize we have a few people that simply can't be in the group because we're already 8. But if we queue at the same time, maybe we can do something there to land in the same session. And we're not in that much of a hurry. I have 42 tokens already. Well, I can't invite you, Emir. I'm guessing you're in group with Castle, maybe? Is there anyone in the group right now that specifically do not want to do ocean fishing? Adele says when you talk to the NPC, she will give you the choice. Okay, well, we could do that. Let me just see. Can't see that menu yet. I think we will choose Kugani then, if that is an option we're given. Alright, Rust. Thank you for joining. Are you only 2 in your group, Gaslanimia? I've also invited Yasuo. There we go, I think that's everyone. Right, I will be right back and then we should be sort of ready, right? There's more humanity restored tonight. Ta-da! It's restored twice. Shoo. Alright, I'm back. It will probably... There might be a queue, yeah. You choose the ruby route or the indigo route. Well, I guess we'll choose the ruby route. I'm pretty sure I have never done that one before. This is like when there's like concerts by people and just walk up. Or actually, this is more dense than the MSQ, isn't it? This looks more dense with people than doing the MSQ on release day of new MSQ stuff. Doesn't it? Like swimming through people. It's absolutely insane. I guess the reason is that the game really makes sure that we're all gathered here at the same time by saying it has to be a specific time. Where the MSQ is whenever, so people come around whenever. In fact, sometimes people do something other than the MSQ first thing. Like, with the most recent patch, I'm pretty sure some people went and did the Hildebrand stuff first so that, you know, they could get their relic weapons. But yeah, I've only done ocean fishing a few times myself. The real MSQ. So it's actually, I was actually shocked when we had a little discussion on the Discord recently about the mount from ocean fishing, and I was shocked that I had it. I was like, how? What are the chances? Ruby price, I guess. Take all these people and spawn 2 red chocobos for each of them. Oh dear. Do we need 2 of them? Wouldn't 1 red comet be plenty? Just 1 red comet with a lot of HP. Aradel says plump worm. So once you're out of the circle, you choose plump worm and just start fishing. I feel like I should have buffed up with something before I did that. Oh well, there's still time to do that. I'm sorry, Cat Damon, did I mess you up by choosing that one specifically? I think the merchant and mender in the center can sell you them. Welcome back, Travis. We're ocean fishing. Wait, where's my squad? You're over here. Okay, well I'll join you here then. I'm just standing over there in the corner alone. Dum da dum dum dum. Riveting gameplay. Oh. Three exclamation points. Yoink. Thank you so much, Mogpendium, and enjoy work. If you get 4 exclamation points, the fish will pull you in the sea. No. The most shocking part is that my character has never been pulled into the sea by a fish yet, given her incredibly low stature. I'm sure that she doesn't weigh enough to grab all these fish. Wait, what do you mean by that, Shiro? I thought the Warrior of Light's brain was empty. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that I'll actually get 8,000 points. But maybe there is a burst later. Oh, 3! Oh. Ah, just a very dense, empty brain, I see. I think it's very sweet that there's like people are doing stuff on the ship. Like my character's talking with someone over there. I think it was talking with Gazel actually. What bait do we need now? Ragworm. Everyone hanging out in their fisher clams. Meanwhile, the guy looks like she's on the way out to on a fox hunt or something. Or rather, she's dressed like she's out. She's going on a fox hunt with a fox that is actually blind. They'll never notice. The hunt is upon us. Indeed, indeed, Shiro. I'm hunting for wabbits. Thank you, Ham, and enjoy your food. Dum 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 dum. Please do not hunt wabbits. We're hunting for wabbits to give them hugs. You see, she hasn't even brought a rifle or anything. She's brought a fishing rod. Also, hey Angel, hope you're doing well. Finished cooking. Nice. Dun 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 dun. Whoop. How many points do the voyage missions give? Because if they give a lot, that might compensate for the simple fact that I'm not very far yet. I think it's really funny and kind of ironic that when people saw that there was this once per like Moogle Tomestone event challenge called Ultimog, I think people were expecting like ultimates. And then instead it's this. Yoink. Oh, nice. It didn't even occur to me that that counts as both of those challenges. Or can count as both of them. Didn't get a spectral current yet. That's true. Well, we'll see what happens. How many stages are there in this? Only 3? I see like there's like 3 times of day in the menu. Three. Well, then this might not be happening. It's beginning to look a lot like this voyage isn't going to happen. It's beginning to look a lot like this voyage isn't going to happen. At least not with an 8,000 points. Heaven on high will just never not look insane. Put next to the rest of the world. Wow. Wow. We just see this gigantic tower just goes endlessly into the heavens. And as others mentioned in the chat in-game, we're using Krill now. Give me the ferocious bite. Give it to me. Yoink it. Give. Keep. Hey! I finished the task. What did I win? Now you're going to tell me I need to finish all 3. Percents on the final score. Oh, nice. Well, I need a lot of percents on my final score then. I sure hope it's like plus 400% or something like that. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. Keep ferocious bite fish. 85%? Well, I can't work with that, Angel. I need more than that. I need a lot. Can't you see? I need 8,000. It has to be way more than only 85%. Otherwise, this isn't working. Then I won't get the score that I need. Well, this weather looks ominous. Or maybe it's just dark. Just complete 6 more objectives. Aha! It's big brain time. Break the scale. Go even further beyond. Do tasks that were never asked of you, but for some reason they wanted you to do anyway. This is absolutely gaming, Coco. This is as wild as it gets. The only thing more hardcore than this is like a visual novel, I'm pretty sure. Womp 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 womp. Yeah, exactly, Shiro. That's not what I asked you to catch, but good job. Maybe if Kai just looks cute enough as she hands over her results, it'll work. Maybe. Just put on a big enough smile, then maybe it'll work. No. No. Bloop. Ah. Ah. Yeah. Oh, probably wouldn't have been enough anyway. Looks like this is a lot more lethal than I thought. Everyone on the ship just talking like, so did you catch a lot? Nah, not really. Did you catch a lot? Nah, not really. So you getting those 50 tomestones? Probably not. How about you? Probably not. Bruh. Hey! Look at all those fish! What can you use them for? Nothing. How about this one? Nothing. Exactly, Growl. All of that for 2,000 points. And 5 tomestones. That was uneventful. Yeah. Do you need 8,000 points on your own? Yes. But as others mentioned, people, basically everyone who's more well versed in this ocean fishing stuff looked at this and went, no ether currents? Then you're not getting it. How do you get 8k? Well, a little bit of luck, and then like just getting a proc of a special event, I guess. I have gotten 10,000 points once, apparently, which I only know because I have the mount to show for it. Also, what are people doing? This decent thing, like, oh boy, I can't wait for, what's this? 1 fine sand and maybe 1 water shard. Yes. Wow. An ocean fishing guide might be an idea. Oh, right, it could have gill in it. A little loud. Gotta level up the decent somehow. I agree, Silvermint, but that is exactly why the first thing I did was look at them and go, oh, all of these are desynthesis level 1. You don't get, like, once your desynthesis level with Culinarian is, like, 30 or 40, I think, they stopped giving anything. If you aim for triple hooking specific fish during spectral currents, 8k is easy. I could imagine. My mistake was also that once we were on the voyage, I was like, oh yeah, I could use my high cordial. Where are those? Oh, they're in my chocobo bag. Or saddle bag. So I can't use them. So because I didn't have that, I was, and also I don't fish very often. I looked at most of my actions and was like, I can't remember any of these. Yeah, I could imagine that either. Like, I was thinking, I don't know, is Patience 2 a good idea on ocean fishing? So I just kept doing that because that's like, that usually kind of works, but I don't usually fish on a time limit. So that wasn't like usually not a big issue. But if you wanted to do both Patience 2 and also triple hook, you would need like full GP and a lot of angler's art to like recover, or you would need a high cordial. Oh well. Maybe next time. I don't know, we could do a little bit more of. It's so loud over there. I'm just going to step away. We're not doing that again. For the rest of this stream, it'll be over. I'll go to my house. We could do more Eden. But see, I think that is actually a really good example of an actually good thing to say. You just have to beat it once for this event, and then you'll get 50. Because the 5 kind of compensate, but it might take you multiple goes to get the full 50. But it does mean that they can give like an okay amount of like an amount of tomestones. And then you can like maybe get lucky, and once you get lucky you don't have to come back anymore, instead of it being like super luck intensive. Why is it always raining here? That is an excellent question, Cat Damon. And why is it raining on my campfire? How many points do you get for catching jerk anglerfish? Oh, they don't swim. Jerk anglerfish, for some reason, exclusively exist in on land. For some reason. But you could try and catch one. It'll just give you like a defense down debuff. Fisher Relic now grants sometimes discount on hook sets, so Patience got even better. Yeah, I could imagine that. That would be pretty impactful. But yeah, just for anyone who's concerned they can't do it, as I said, I have the achievement for getting 10k, which is 2 more than the 8k you need for the Mogtome thing. So, and I have no idea how to do this event at all. As you can see, I have no clue. So you can do it too. I managed it for an achievement. So you can too. As far as I understood, the reason why we got so few points was because we didn't have that event proc, unfortunately. Is there something specific that triggers it that we didn't do? Or is it just random? We did? Oh. I see. I caught 2. If I remember correctly, they gave like 200 points when caught. Is the spectral current like something like mostly just spectral fish and they catch really fast? Or something like that? Oh, I know, Aradel, I know you mentioned it multiple times that we were unlucky. I did see that. I got it. I'm just saying that maybe there was something we didn't do. Because I don't think I asked that earlier. Right. With that said, we could do a few more runs of Eden stuff if everyone in the group is up for it. The reason we're doing E to N, Growl, is that it gives 2 for each clear, and we can actually beat it in under 4 minutes. So it's decently fast. I don't know if it's the fastest one, but it seems to be decently fast, and I'm curious how quickly we can do it. Cat Damon says that's why someone calls out specific bait at the start of routes. I can tell you as much that if, like, as someone who doesn't know all of the mechanics of ocean fishing, that as far as I'm concerned, right, the reason why specific fish, specific bait is called out could have been, like, without knowing or understanding, could just as well have been, oh, well, you need to catch fish in general, and this bait works best here. And not for some specific reason, which is why I don't know. But I think I've had this explained to me before. So thank you. The bait called out is the bait with the best spectral odds. Well, there you go. Now I know. Thank you. Ow. I forgot to use Serbanaka. Oops. Well, I have to do that after this then. Whoops. That was not what I wanted to do. Ah, yes, in rotation, remove ethereal mimicry. Just doesn't get better than that. I actually wanted to use Adel. Oh, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. The stack marker, right? Oh, now that's what we call a lot of damage. Wow. It's the hand. Ugh. Oh, was there multiple final stings there? Did we manage to time that? Because I was just about to say that unfortunately my final sting didn't do very much. And then the boss just died. I can tank. If no one else will, I can do it. I think we have a few more runs. And just repeating, the reason why we're not doing E1N is simply because there's an intermission, and if we don't make the DPS check to skip the intermission, then it takes 5 minutes. So it's just like with a group like we are, where our DPS is somewhat inconsistent. It's just better to go for whatever we know works, rather than trying to make some magic happen that just isn't going to happen. But there is a possibility that E1N would be faster if we could make the check. Ah, 22 seconds. No! My Phantom Flurry! I greeded too hard and decided to use Lucid Dreaming instead. Blap. 142k, that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Angel says I need to do Umbra from Eden, but I haven't gotten to doing my challenges yet. Fair enough. You have a whole week to do these anyway, so no need to rush. Just remember that the weekly objective is unique to you, while the mini-mark is like universal. So like if you can do, like, if you're planning to like do minimark, or rather the Moogle treasure trove stuff with friends, then the weekly objectives are ones like a little bit like with Wanderer's Tales, where you might end up like going, okay, so what's your objective? What's your objective? And you have to like go through a list. You're doing it with friends. Every time I'm like, wait, how long what's that? How fast was that run? But I only remember after I've exited, so I can't see how long it actually took. I think we have 2 more. 1 or 2 more. If people are up for it, of course. It should take 4 minutes per go. Less than 4 minutes, preferably, but we get what we get. Jason, hope you're doing well. Steve says 3 minutes and 50. Thank you. It is really awkward with the timing for Moonflute, because some of your cooldowns scale with speed and some don't. So some of the actions will just be like, oh, do I wait for that? Or do I save it? And I do recall that if you have a lot of speed, then using Triple Trident when you have it is better. But I don't remember if that also applies to Matra Magic. It's been too long. Those are going to resolve at the same time. There's also the argument that if you only get 1 more burst because the fight is only 4 minutes, maybe it's better to save it to give it full blast when you can. Ow. Hey, you're done. Hope you're doing well. Well, Morbanesh, right? Hope you're doing well. Has one of your monitors... Oh, right. Was it you that had, like, a monitor that broke down recently? I feel like I remember that. Blap. That's really unlucky. Overnight says, my new monitor came and I plugged it in. Then my other monitor died, or got some green spots all around and started turning off and on. I wonder why that happened. Yeah, within 4 minutes is really good. As I said earlier in the stream, as far as I know, if you can collect like one tombstone every 2 minutes, that's like okay for Mogtome event. It's usually a standout miracle if there is some way to grind more than one or more than one tombstone per minute. So usually half a tombstone per minute is perfectly fine. Right, one last time, I think. Thank you, MB. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the kind words. I see where I've gone wrong, because Cat Damon has a more crit-centric build, I think, whereas I have a more speed-centric build. That's why Cat goes over and does a 200k crit direct hit, and I do a crit for 140. Yes, I am on EU. We are on Louis Soir Chaos right now. Chaos! That's why your monitor died. Too much chaos. Exactly, as Angel says, my main, which is this character, is on Louis Soir Chaos, and my alt, which is a Lalafell, is on Alpha Light. Too much chaos would be 09. Well, I mean, it's already quite chaos, isn't it? It's very chaos. It is he we must kill. chaos. Oh, the stack marker's on me for once. Oh boy, how exciting. What shall I do with this power? Oh, right. Just get hit. But you know, Morvanish, weirdly, I think I've had a similar experience of like when I finally had like switched to 2 monitors. I think it took like a month or maybe 2, and then my OG, like the old monitor, gave out. So it's like, oh, had to buy another one because I just barely managed to get used to having 2. It always sucks. Hopefully when you get your new monitor, your new extra monitor, Morvanish, it doesn't like do it again. Like the exact same thing happening again. Yeah. You're just like in an endless loop of replacing a monitor. My replacement is here. The reality, they actually get offended and then explode. Huh? You think I'm not good enough anymore? All right, then have this. Explodes. Blap. 152. Pretty good. Three minutes and 59, look like. MB, I am on Louis Soir, on Chaos. This here. Louis Soir. You're also there, I see. I see, on Sagittarius. Fair enough. Morvanish's funny thing is, I got a bit annoyed after a few times of the monitor turning off and on, so I hit it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Now it works. Did you just get the monitor to work, Morvanish? Like right now? Possible to join the group later. I think we're actually like this was like the last run. I usually stream around 3 hours or so on Tuesdays like this. So this was the last run we were going to do. But other than that, usually when I'm streaming, if we're doing any content where like people can join, then people are always welcome to join. Like that's generally like the plan. It's like if I'm doing group content, it's usually with as many people from the stream as possible. Like so, all people in the group right now are from the stream. Glad to have you, MB. Thank you. And yeah, that is probably for the best, Morvanish. It said, I think it was yesterday, but a new one is coming. I don't trust the monitor anymore. Usually, I think it's a good sign if you have to use physical punishment to make your computer parts work. that's usually a good sign that it needs to get replaced. I have a previous PC that has a fan that is a little loose. You can, like, it rattles like crazy when it chooses to. Sometimes you can make it shut up by smacking the PC itself. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you realize why that's a bad idea. Coco says you got a new PC. Yes, I actually did buy a new PC, but it meant more like the previous PC that I have. Yeah, I got a new one. Much stronger one. Fortunately, I have the savings to be able to do that. But I still do need to get that other PC fixed. Because it's not very nice to use as it is right now. 4090? Yes. Yeah, I got a really strong PC so that I can, for example, stream, make videos, make good videos well, without being concerned about that. A box or a PC in the back. There's 2 boxes. Yeah, exactly, Shiro. Something like that. The most annoying sound in the world. I have actually streamed on that PC while it still had the tendency to make that sound. I had just discovered at that very moment when it had started doing it a lot more frequently, and the reason why Coco immediately realized it was new PC is because Coco knew about this problem. But some, like, a few months ago, at this point, the PC started just making this noise incessantly at any time. I discovered that it wouldn't do it if I was playing, like, Final Fantasy XIV, because then the fans were already going so fast that it didn't have time to rattle and be weird. We're talking like days before the replacement PC was ready. You could say. It started rattling while playing Final Fantasy XIV, which meant that I was very close to having a stream where there was a random possibility that you would just start hearing the equivalent of neighbors drilling for the entire stream. Which I'm sure would have been wonderful for your ears. Same logic goes for employees. Oh no. Angel says, I'm waiting for when Kai will do Rival Wings. Yeah, so I actually, last time we had mock tome events and Rival Wings was a good strategy for that. I did actually go to test that. And by that I mean, off stream, I tried to queue for Rival Wings. And I sat there for 10 minutes. And then I withdrew from the queue and concluded that I don't think it's, like, it might not happen at that time. And I wouldn't want to risk it for a stream. Last time I had such a situation happen was actually also with PvP. If you go far enough back in the live stream catalog on the channel, you'll see that there was a time where I was basically doing weekly Crystalline Conflict streams. And those were suddenly replaced with weekly Frontline streams. And then later, they were replaced with, I think it was the daily Hangout, dailies Hangout streams. But the reason for that was that I actually sat, I think, for 45 minutes in queue for Crystalline Conflict with no queue pop. Like, none. And then we concluded this isn't going to happen. So I just did frontline for the rest of the stream. And I don't... Like, if I sit down and go, I'm going to do this on the stream, then I want to be sure that that's what we're doing. So, like, for example, I also think I mentioned this just before New Year's. That the reason why we skipped a Small Kai stream was because we would have to try and queue for the near raids, like, on the 22nd of December. Like, I was, like, thinking, that queue is not popping. It's probably not popping at all. And I don't even know if we'll have, like, 8 people, like, to join. Like, maybe we won't have enough people to do it without queuing. Like, we could do it unsynced, maybe, if we have enough people. But I didn't think we would have enough people. So that combined with me having a lot of other things on the schedule that caused some problems, I ended up just skipping it. And then the week after was when we actually did the near raid, where I suspected that, well, between the Christmas and New Year's period, it's probably fine. And that day I also had the space to more easily go overtime if we had to. Whereas I didn't really have the time for that on the day that I had to, on the week I had to skip. And then ultimately, as Ymir says, we did have enough people, plenty, and the queues popped just fine. But that is like, if I need people for something, then I will try my best to only plan it if I know there's going to be people for it. Otherwise, there's like, it's going to be a very like bait and switch kind of stream, and I don't want that. Angel says Rival Wings is sadly problematic because basically once you hit the queue, you need to leave instantly and queue instantly again, or you may miss it. Thank you so much for the 20 gifted memberships, Coco. Wow, that's crazy. Thank you so much. That's a lot of returners here. I see Cat, Sin, 11, Archiebuster, Yesu, Zach, Siren and James and JL. I know those guys certainly have had a membership before. And everyone else. I hope you enjoy the emotes and everything else that comes with a membership. Thank you so much, Coco. Thank you. This floor do be slippery. Ha! Shiro says, I guess I got missed. Shiro with the 100% evasion. Wow. Thank you. Her head must have slipped on the slippery floor. Hey! Thank you also, Ymir, for the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Wow. It's like the return of the two Santas of of the channel almost. Thank you, both of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Siren says, oh, my channel sub renewed. Thank you. What was I saying before this? Right. This is how thanks to who? Well, it's thank you to both Coco Pearl, that's Gunsmokes, and Ymir, which is Shell Ymir in game. This is how the cult gets you. This is how cults get you. The reason why there is this problem with with Rival Wings is simply that unlike Frontline, there is no random queue or anything to Rival Wings. Which means that to land in Rival Wings, like look, with Frontline, you unlock Frontline and then you just click here. PvP being over here would otherwise hide away Frontline, but because Frontline has a daily challenge, people are more likely to just click it, right? But not only does Rival Wings not have a daily challenge, you know, roulette of any kind, it's hidden away so far away that you have to scroll to find it in a specific menu in the duty finder. Like, it is hidden away so far that like the only way they could hide it more would be if they had put it in like high-end duty. Let's see. Grau asked in game, how do we get the lob hop emote? You have to finish all 3 of the Endwalker tribes. You have to fully max them out, and then there will be a quest. You'll get this emote. The most hidden duties just have NPCs like the Lubrum Savage. True. Very true. Somehow that feels more clear to find than Rival Wings. Or is that just me? Enjoy your D&D, Siren. The first time's free, and when you notice you're dyeing your hair hot pink. Which kind of tribes are the bunny and the robot ones? The robot one is Gatherer, I believe, and the bunny one is Crafter. So you need one of each. Yisa says, I have caught myself spying cherry pink on the market board. Well, I actually just produce it. I just produce it myself, directly from the Island Sanctuary. If you have your Island Sanctuary maxed out, you can just buy cherry pink dye there. Which is how I have this many. What did I... Oh, right, I had a relic finished yesterday. But yeah, I think one massive improvement they could give to Rival Wings, like, I think one buff they could give it would be move Rival Wings up here. Like, up at the top, instead of at the bottom. Like, just place it at the top. Everyone knows Crystalline Conflict exists, and everyone knows Frontline exists. But Rival Wings is hidden away all the way down there. That would be one huge buff to the mode. A second huge buff would be, I don't know, either make it so that Frontline is randomly the daily Frontline, or Rival Wings. Alternatively, add a Rival Wings daily. Like, those two things I think would help Rival Wings immensely. I don't know or understand why it is so hidden away. I really, really don't. I just don't. And we have a dance party here. Right then, so just to round up on what we experienced today, my observations, and this might not actually be accurate, like maybe there's something else that is discovered, but for anyone that is like, so what was the most effective way to get the Mog Tomes? If you want to farm them, of course. The key thing to remember before you grind yourself to death, these two parts refresh weekly. So with this event being like 5 or 6 weeks long, you will get, if you do just these 2 things each week, you will accumulate 180 of these tomestones by just doing these things. And these things can take like 5 minutes each. So if you're not in a hurry, then don't like power grind all of the tomestones you need in the first week. Take your time. And if you do want to power grind, I think that your best options will be either Eden's Gate Descent, maybe Eden's Gate Resurrection. But I do think Eden's Gate Descent might be the more reliable one, because Descent you can do, as we demonstrated here, in under 4 minutes. Resurrection, you have to do it in under 4 minutes. Or, if you don't, it'll become 5 minutes, because there's going to be an intermission that just adds time. So if you don't have like a reliable team, then consider Descent. And you might need blue mages to get it under 4 minutes, but that's still pretty good. If you do have blue mages, then some of these 3 up here might also be really effective, because you might be able to do them in under 6 minutes. I don't know, maybe you can do Sastasha hard in under 8 minutes. That would also be pretty good. But you don't even have to do that. If you like to hang out at the gold saucer, for example, doing gates during this event will give you tomestones as well. So if you just hang out in the gold source and participate whenever something happens, you'll slowly accumulate some. And the reason why it says A to B is because the amount of water depends on how well you perform, which is also how this works with PvP. I'm pretty sure, unless they changed anything, it's going to be 3 for win. It's going to be 5 for winning and 3 for not winning. And what I mean by that is, if you get 2nd or 3rd place, you get 3. So you need to win to get the 5. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff you can do. And if you have blue mages, you might want to try these. You might want to try these. Maybe even these, but these definitely. But there's a bunch of stuff you can do. And if you don't have... If you... 1, don't have blue mages, and 2, also don't have the full game, so you can't even access the Eden raids, then I think some of the best ones might be the stuff down here. I don't know how good this stuff might be, because you might just not have blue mage either. But in fact, if you're on free trial, maybe gates will be your best option. It's my suggestion. But do remember these, because they do give a huge amount. Hey Tabs, hope you're doing well. Yeah, ocean fishing is also fine. While you haven't gotten this Ultimog challenge done, there's 50 big ones here waiting for you when you do. But as we demonstrated on the stream, it's not guaranteed. You just might not get those 8,000 points. With that said, if you enjoyed the hanging out with the wonderful people of the community that you've seen in the stream chat, remember that there's a Discord community server that you can join, where you will find most of those wonderful people, including Coco and Ymir. You'll also find me. You'll also find the weekly schedule, where you can see what else is coming up on the channel throughout this week. Tomorrow, we actually have I have a video coming out where we discuss the fact that having completed something really difficult doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be the best at everything. Example, being a legend and then failing as a healer in a dungeon. And you can also see the announcement room, where you will see a link whenever there's a new video on your stream. Whatever it is, it shows up there first, which would mean the video tomorrow. And you can also go to the role assignments room and grab the reminder role to get a notification whenever a new video or a new stream, whatever it is, shows up. And you will also get an extra reminder around 15 minutes before time-sensitive stuff like a stream comes up. And yes, indeed, Angel, PayPal Legends is indeed a part of the title of that video tomorrow. And if you did in fact enjoy this stream specifically, it helps me a lot if you leave a like on the stream, because that tells the YouTube algorithm that this was a very enjoyable stream and you'd like other people to enjoy it as well. So thank you so much in advance. I think that's everything. Thursday we have tea time, which you might also be happy to know that, or be interested to know that if you want me to review your clips that you may have posted on the Discord server, do make sure to do that. But I also tend to skip them if you're not there in the stream, because I don't want you to miss out on me reviewing your clip, if I can. Yeah, I think that's everything from me. Good night, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye bye!